That's better. Feels good, doesn't it? You want to know the truth about your toilet? It's not helping you do what you go there to do. What you go there to do is number 2. Cavemen, Aborigines, American Indians, they all squatted. But then the Industrial Revolution...
How are we? All right, let's get right into it.
Oh boy, what are we getting into?
The squatty potty. We made promises.
Fantastic.
Nina, explain to the audience what a squatty potty is for anybody who doesn't know.
Well, Frankie, a squatty potty is basically a brace for your feet. It's like a little elevated platform to rest your feet on either side of your toilet so that you more mimic a natural
Dump.
defecating position.
I tried it once.
We call it the dump stance.
The dump stance.
And this is supposed to be
the newest, hottest yoga pose.
This is supposed to be something that people This is supposed to be something that people in the East do.
Well, they do anyway because they just squat.
Yeah.
The East.
Far East.
They have squat toilets.
exotic East.
That are just holes in the floor.
Yeah.
My beef with the squatty is that so Nina actually bought one. It came in the mail and everything. And all right.
This episode's gonna be littered with those.
No, that's the title.
It came in the...
I've just melted away.
I'm a lousy melter. when you put your feet up in the goddamn thing, I don't know. I just felt so ridiculous, and it actually didn't. Nina was like, "This should make you have a giant dump," and it
A nice one-string turd.
yeah, no more than usual.
No.
Well, because there's a band of ligaments and muscles that when you are sitting actually closes off the
Bend.
rectum, and in theory, when you are squatting, it actually just releases.
Being bent
Isn't
like
there like
that,
a slight kink like at the
Yeah.
end, like the sigmoid
Yeah.
piece
Yeah.
or whatever?
you're
So, like,
destined to pinch a loaf.
yeah, and then you always got something in and you're like, I still think I have to go. But the squatty potty is supposed to
Squatty
alleviate
potty is
that.
supposed to be helpful.
It just kind of flies out.
Right.
For those about to have anal sex.
You don't,
was
you don't have a
surprised.
donut hole left.
I was surprised to hear that almost anybody I talked to who's tried it liked it.
Yeah.
Except for you.
Yeah, maybe I'm too fat or
I don't
something.
think. Yeah, I don't think you're giving him enough of a
my,
chance.
my
maybe.
stomach
If I
was
even
kind of
tried
in the way.
Maybe you don't have this ligament anyway, and you're just constantly.
I'm not particularly flexible.
Maybe you don't have the issue in general of not being able to finish.
Not really. I mean, the only time I
It
have
just falls out of you.
the only time I have a problem is when there's that little bit where you're just like.
That's what I was hoping it would alleviate. 'Cause
And?
you kind of feel like I don't know. I haven't bought it yet.
Well, then how do you know you love it?
I don't. What are you talking about? This whole time I've been saying I've been wanting a squatty potty.
all right.
I've been
I'm the one who
wanting a
wants
squatty potty.
He wants one. I love them.
To me,
I've been wanting a squatty potty.
we did 3 minutes on the squatty. I think that's all we.
I think that's
drain
all
the
that's
squatty.
required, except that I bought the cheap plastic version.
Not the
of
wooden one. They sell a
potty.
bamboo one.
I'm going
Steel.
to be upgrading to the bamboo one. I like it so much.
Titanium diamonds.
What are you going to do with it?
Give it to Aaron.
Oh, Aaron, there you go. You'll get the old one.
Fantastic. Let me try it before I buy one.
Emma Frost turns into a squatty potty.
We just passed the squatty potty.
The squatty
around
potty is actually
between all of us. Now you try the squatty potty. Now you try the squatty potty.
This is a Squatty Potty podcast. We just talked to a new
It's the
person.
squatty podcast. That's what it is.
Yes, the squatty post.
Squadcast.
Nina, here's something I've been wanting to talk about on the podcast, but the problem is I never really remember the story all that well. Once, many years ago, Nina and I and Chris, her brother, were walking around Fall River, and we got stopped by Mormons. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what happened after that.
My memory.
I don't remember anything.
We were going somewhere. I think we were getting hot dogs, or we were just hanging out by the park or something, and we were stopped by these gentlemen in white
Mormon
button-down
garb.
shirts and black pants, the uniform, who came up to us way too fucking happy to be in Fall River,
Yes, officer.
and
Totally out of place.
and just like started chatting with us. Like, weren't trying to lay it on heavy. We're just trying to like
Listen,
ease
Mormons,
into it.
we're in Fall River. We're not happy right now. Nobody in Fall River is
Nobody's
happy.
Look
We're-
around.
we're fucked up.
Look around. This dry, drab.
And eventually it got to where they finally were like, we wanted to know if you would want to come back and watch a video with us and, learn some things. And we convinced them that we couldn't because we were on our way to theater
Imagine if we did.
practice.
Yeah,
And we
let's
were
wa-
we were wearing all black just because.
So now you should have
were.
propositioned him. Would you like to come with us? No. But would you like to come with us?
I got videos.
Watch our video.
got things to do.
You should have written down his license plate number.
That's right. Yeah, Rush film.
No rape.
And he was and he was so adorable and Mormon that he did believe that just because Frankie and I happened to be wearing all black, that we were theater kids, that we were trying to do a theater.
What a
Kind of
jackass.
thing.
Right.
And he was like, I should have known. I should have known you were in the theater. And then he tried to talk to us about the theater, and then we still couldn't get away.
I should have known you were a Mormon.
I should have known you were a Mormon.
Just creepily smiling back.
But we did know it was
On the
a
list
Mormon.
of surreal experiences, as we all know, I take the bus in the morning,
Yep.
and then I got to walk through Chinatown to get to my job.
Have you ever been stopped by Mormons in Chinatown?
Never.
Do you think they figure the Chinese just got their religion?
I was just
locked
walk by those like diseased chickens. They're piling into their restaurants. It always smells so bad. It's all I can imagine is working at a chicken farm and just losing your soul every day. But I walk out of South Station on a Friday.
Shoveling live chickens.
Oh god.
Shoving a shovel into a big batch of live chickens.
There's no way into heaven for me. I step outside South Station. The streets are empty, which is really weird. I mean, it's morning. But
Just chickens. Just dirty, partially eaten chickens.
like post-apocalyptic empty. Like you're concerned you might be the last man alive on the bus.
That noise doesn't fit here.
And we're gone.
And we're off the air.
Got it.
It reminds me of in a dream when you try to scream. all it comes out.
We're trying to tell with chickens.
All that comes out is Lazy John on toast. I can't scream even.
I'm a lousy screamer.
You open your eyes and you're eye level with a grill.
I've been screaming for 6 months now and just won't get finished.
Your hands are filled with pain. And you're eye level with a grill.
Melting.
Hot cheesers everywhere. A long receipt for motion state jawline nearby.
Steve is doing electrical work. Just caught wires everywhere.
Can't get away from John. You can't stop talking about it.
How could you be doing stuff for a year? A year? So small.
I tried to tell him this. I tried to tell him
You're stuck in a loop, John. It's Groundhog's Day.
get away from these chickens.
Get out of Chinatown.
I tried to tell him, you've been doing this for a year. And he goes, no.
And then he does the math and realizes,
It's almost a year.
yeah, he's 2 months shy of a year, so it's not.
He's like, it's not a year. It's 2 months shy of a year.
It's 10 months.
The last shot is him on his deathbed. Covered in paint.
Never finished.
Apartment half done.
Eye level with a grill.
It's a grill right on the side of the coffin. Covered in paint.
The corpse.
What a ridiculous man.
All right. I was
Chinatown.
trying to tell you a story. But the streets were empty, and I'm very tired. I just woke up. I look around, and there are, to my right, teenagers, like really attractive teenagers in colorful jumpsuits and uniforms, standing in a row. And I'm pretty sure it's the Power Rangers. I'm pretty sure they just morphed there. I was like, that's too peculiar. They're too attractive. They're too uniformed.
They have too much attitude.
They're in too much of a row. And then they started all running at me, like in unison. and I looked to my left, and there was totally like a film crew there. And they were making some like teen movie or something. They were like,
Did you fuck it up? Did you ruin the shot?
yeah, I started painting in the middle of it.
No, just but by your presence. Did you
I don't think so. No, I think they were in the middle of a rehearsal or something. Okay. But it was fairly. They didn't want me there. That's for sure.
I ran into. I was walking home from Hannah's place a few weeks ago, and I ran into the Johnny Depp Whitey Bulger movie that was being filmed on my street of my apartment, and they shut down about 5 blocks of the street, and they shut down the portion of Cambridge Street where you need to get past or you need to walk 10 blocks around. So they were just PAs, like really attractive 18-year-old production assistants every 2 blocks.
Throws me off.
Stopping everyone saying, "Oh, sorry, you can't go down here." And me being like, "I live right there. You can't stop me from this." And one guy next to me just literally just walked past them and yelled back, "You can't stop me. I live here." And they were just like, "Yeah, we can. It's Johnny Depp over there. We're gonna
Johnny
stop
Depp
you."
stops all.
He stops everybody.
That's what I'll do.
But I did have to end up walking around. But you're lucky you didn't stop anything because they would have screamed at you.
They seemed like a kind of a small crew. They seemed like it might be like a movie that costs like $50,000 or something.
Like that
One of ours.
Like that car commercial in New Bedford.
Oh yeah.
Where we were filming, having fun up there.
I shouted.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? I shouted
Yeah.
at them like, "This really makes me want an IKEA or a Kia." Well, not IKEA. We did promise that we would talk about my dental visit.
I guess.
I guess you don't want to talk about it.
No, I'm fine talking.
I didn't go.
I had a dental visit.
When was the last time you went to the dentist?
A few months ago.
Really? So you go regularly?
What a normal answer. You were hoping that was not going to happen.
Two a year at least for cleanings.
Yeah.
The one time Aaron's a normal person.
I mean, you have dental insurance, right?
Yes.
They're free.
I've had it for 6 years.
You just get a dentist that's right next to your house.
I haven't gone for 10 years.
When I didn't have dental insurance, I was the same way. I didn't go for 10 years.
Yeah.
I got dental insurance. I take the 2 a year.
Well, did you have a lot of work to do?
Yeah, of course. Like when you don't go in 10 years, they're like, well, no. I had 2 cavities, and they want me to get braces
Really?
because I have baby teeth.
How the hell does that? How did that happen? Mike was here to be giving you shit for that snot rag.
But only 2 cavities. That's it.
Yeah, I had something like 12.
Seriously?
Well, they're all like those small ones where you like.
They're not like full thickness. Like they won't all have to be filled. but
You're a
they'll
candy
have to
lover,
be.
though, right?
I guess.
What do you mean you guess? You're not sure? What are you, John?
We do have a giant bowl of candy outside of his office all day, every day.
You're a candy
so-
lover.
I eat a lot of. I mean, look, I haven't gone to the dentist in 10 years, and I eat everything. So who knows what happened?
You're a pickle lover.
But I was.
You're Piccolo.
I was discouraged because Hannah went after like maybe 4 years, and she has like her new
She's dying.
Her new hobby is going to the dentist. She seems to be there twice a week or so, or was for a while. Multiple root canals.
That's how they get you. You
Visit
go in,
after
you walk in.
visit.
That's why I won't go to the eye doctor. I insist I'll never go to the eye doctor. Because you walk in, you get some prescription for lenses, then you go in 2-3 times a year,
Yeah,
and it just doesn't end the rest of your life.
I'm not
Getting
exaggerating.
stronger and stronger.
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating when
don't
I
need
say
that.
she goes once a week.
Well, once every other week.
It was
It's pretty
For what
ridiculous.
at that point?
Well, she got 2 root canals, so she had to do that was like 2 sessions each, and then she had to get crowns replaced. And now she has gold teeth, and she
Yeah.
still actually only has 1 tooth that still needs to be made gold. So she's
She
gonna go
wanted
back
to,
for that.
She was like, "Oh, I can't wait to have a gold tooth." She was like really into it, and I was like, "Well, at least it's in the back."
Was it one of the back ones?
Yeah.
No, it's this one right here.
Yeah.
It's like right on the side.
So she can be like Marv.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Like, gold
exactly.
tooth. So I said, well,
going tooth.
I said, well, at least it's not like a front tooth. She was like, "Oh, I would do that too," and I was like, "You would not do if you had a gold tooth in the front of your mouth, you would." Any other personality trait you have would be trumped by the fact you have a gold tooth.
You'd just be a jackass.
You'd be the gold tooth lady for the rest of your life.
Yep.
You can't do
It
that.
would be over.
We would just be waiting for a comedic mishap where that gold tooth
Falls out. Yeah.
I asked her. I said, "What's the story? Is it the weed smoke? Is it what is it?" And she was like, "I just think I have genetically soft teeth. Like they just fall apart."
The candy corn.
Candy corn,
Instead of a gold tooth, they replaced it with candy corn.
golden candy corns.
I would like the candy corn color.
They're cheap. I got bad insurance. A mouthful of candy corns. It's going to take about 3 visits. But when we're all done, you're going to have a very Halloween mouth. They told me that they could actually fix me completely in one visit.
We can fix you. We can rebuild you.
Okay, Steve Trenholm was making that joke lately because he's got the
What?
he's got the gout. And so every day on Facebook he's like, "They can rebuild me. I'm the bimonic man."
I'm a bimonic man.
Well,
I don't know if he thinks it's a joke or something, having gout constantly, but it's just going to be a point where, like, also the fact that he's, like, probably closing in on 400 pounds. They're just going to have to, like, amputate some limbs or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even know how that's a joke.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like,
I think that's a horrible tragedy of extreme
and it's
pain
not,
discomfort.
and I like that it's always treated like it's out of his control. Just, I mean, at some point, don't
I
you
just happen to have the gout.
yeah, can't you wake up and be like, I can't take this
You
anymore?
just happen to need
Just-
to stop eating meat and lose weight.
Yeah, I mean, just and the biggest thing about that house, and I've said it 100 times too, like they just won't cut out full calorie soda, or somehow it seems like it's a healthy choice to have Kool-Aid that's like double the sugar that you're supposed to have in it, and it just doesn't make any sense. We can't get through.
How do you get the gout?
I'm just eating poorly. Well,
Yeah, it's uric
It could be
acid,
a kidney
acid
issue, too,
crystals.
but-
Yeah, so a lot of times it's your body's inability to clear out the uric acid crystals.
Like-
But being overweight taxes your kidneys.
it's heavy and it
Eating
like settles
certain
into like the ends of nerve
high
endings.
high
and-
purine foods, which is lunch meats, cured meats, lots of sodium.
So if you have too many Dungaroos.
Too much. What the hell's that canned ham stuff?
Oh, spam.
Spam.
Too much canned ham spam.
Canned ham spam.
What's that canned ham spam?
That spam jam.
I have two announcements that
Potty
just came in.
squatty.
Just came in, hot off the press.
This is breaking news.
Over
I'll-
Facebook?
I'll start with the over news mediums. I'll start with
Casey
the.
Kasem's dead.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, that's true.
One
Just came over.
long distance dedication.
Now for the countdown.
For one thing, having fun
No
up
one
there
cares.
did not get into the Breckenridge Film Festival,
That just came through.
so we will not be going to Colorado this year.
That's okay.
Oh, damn
That's
it.
all right.
I would have went there.
But two, have you seen the movie Looper?
No.
Did you see the movie Looper?
Oh, of course.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Do you like Ryan Johnson?
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
He
did Brick.
he did Brick?
And Brick is pretty good. It's okay. It's a little too moody for me, but
What would you tell me if I told you that it was just announced that he is writing and directing Star Wars Episode 8?
that's very interesting.
It is, isn't it?
That is very interesting. That's kind of like what's his name?
This isn't How Are We material, people. Knock it off. Knock it off.
What are you talking about?
This isn't How Are We material. Nobody knows even what you're talking about.
Of course
By
I
no
do.
one, I mean Aaron.
Well,
Star Wars Episode 8.
They slow down
everyone
a little.
knows. Well, it's kind of like when that guy, the original guy, was writing Episode 7.
yeah, I wish he had actually done it.
Yeah, well,
'cause
that's
that guy
my
was
point.
awesome,
Is
yeah.
that this sounds great. Well, it's probably going to fall
I'm just gonna
through.
turn
It's
my
probably
mic
going to be JJ again.
Look,
It's probably going to be JJ by the time it's...
they're gonna make these Star Wars movies, these new Star Wars movies. I know, I'm not really that into them either.
Star Wars was a popular movie in the 70s.
Star Wars.
You only
And partially in the 90s in high school, but
You only wore shirts that had Star Wars and Adidas on them.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's that have to do with now?
We had a Star Wars off.
What's your beef?
If you remember,
I remember.
in the middle school dance,
I remember.
you circled me and quizzed me on Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you remember this?
I do.
Okay.
I
good.
do. I'm there.
Did you remember it viscerally?
Yes.
Sour.
But I don't know any other part of the conversation about who you're talking about.
Was Mr. Menzies
There was a
standing
movie-
on
And
the
neither does
seat for what
Jade.
was
There,
happened?
well, Jade definitely does. There was a movie called Looper with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Bruce Willis. It was really good.
I don't know any of those names.
you
don't know
do.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis was in Die Hard, and John Hunt wants to fuck Joseph
Oh,
Gordon-Levitt. He does. Did you know that?
No, really?
He's got a total hard on for Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Thought it was
Who doesn't?
He did before he became all famous. Now he's like a little sour.
when he was like
sour
a
on him.
teen star.
When
Wait,
he was
when he had
wearing
the long
a suit
hair?
in Inception,
Oh, okay.
specifically.
He was in Inception?
When he was about 25. When
he was on Third
now
Rock
he's
from the
like
Sun?
in his early 30s. No, after that, but before I would say Batman.
I don't think he
Inception.
did anything during that time.
I don't think
see
he did
how
either.
He could have
No, he
wanted
did.
to
He was
fuck
in
him.
independent films. He was in Brick. He was in 500 Days of Summer.
All right, he was all like skinny and
I
losery.
feel like John Hunt only started talking about him after Inception.
If I
and then
think
it was
of
like,
all the star crushes he could have, he's definitely not up on the top 10, I don't think.
Why not?
I don't know. He just doesn't seem like somebody that would pop out.
Is it because he looks kind of like his kind
A
of
boyish.
flat face? Well, John likes the boyishness.
I know.
At one time, Mike Morse was boyish. I saw some old pictures.
Yeah, when he was like
One
Are you
time
talking
we
about
were
when he was
all
a boy?
Yeah, when he
we
was
were
like
all
I'm
boyish
talking
at
about
one
like
time.
early 20s. He was pretty boyish.
he was 22. Well, I don't think he was boyish.
No, he had like the frosted tips and stuff. He looked like a '90s WB star.
So did this one.
You had frosted tips as well.
I don't think like for some reason I think of more of like an actual. Was he in something as like a young teen or
Yeah,
something?
he was Third Rock from the Sun. He had long
Okay,
hair.
because I'm remembering him as like an actual
He's
boy
awkward.
for some reason.
Yeah,
So
right,
now
right.
when I see him as like a young 20s, I still think boy in my mind.
Yeah.
Same thing that you get when you think of
That's why I got cast as Robin.
what's this other guy that was just in the movie The Neighbors?
Oh, Zac Efron?
Yeah,
I think
same thing with him.
boyish
Like
as well.
he's very good looking now.
Yeah.
But still, when you think about him at first, you think
of
You think of him
12-year-old
as
Zac
13,
Efron.
yeah.
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 I think of him rocking out in a cafeteria
Yeah,
in a very clean kind of way.
and playing
With a lot of bright pinks and yellows.
Yes.
playing a young
And maybe
doctor
a
in
red
Firefly.
tracksuit. A young doctor in Firefly.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he played the. You remember the doctor character?
He didn't play. Zac Efron was not that character.
No, he played a young
but he
version
he
of him.
played the.
Oh, the young
The
version.
the child
The
version.
flashback.
This is before.
Oh.
So you want to talk about how Mike and I might be moving?
Yeah, why don't you fire away?
I think we might be moving to Seattle.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't say.
I
Where the
haven't-
weed is legal.
I haven't talked about it anywhere, but I went to Seattle not long ago.
Yeah. How was it?
The weed is legal.
Hannah and I went there for 2 days. Hannah smoked a ton of weed in public.
Did she?
Hashish and weed.
I thought
They
they
went up to the
didn't.
Space Needle and then they left.
No, they didn't.
We did.
They didn't set up any type of shops yet, right? Like Colorado has.
No, this is a delivery
They
service.
have dispensaries, and we got it delivered to our hotel room.
Fantastic.
We have it all on tape. If
Fantastic.
you want to watch the video.
If you want to do research for your move.
But it was nice. I didn't like the fact that it rained the entire second day, and that like the really nice day they were saying that.
That's
like,
Seattle, though, right?
They're like, it's really rare that it's this nice out, and I was like, oh, that sucks. But the city is really clean, really nice. Downtown was beautiful. As you get away from downtown, it's not so beautiful. It's like anything.
Yeah.
But why Seattle? I don't understand.
Mike got a job offer at the University of Washington.
right.
One of the guys in his lab right now is starting up a lab over there. And asked Mike,
And you're like willing to like uproot like that?
my company is over there. Just transfer over.
Well, good. When is it happening?
September if we do. He's just negotiating salary. I think I'll find out tonight.
Wow, John might be done with the apartment by then.
No,
No.
I wouldn't stay here.
He'll do
We'll have
your
moved.
apartment.
We'll
He'll
have
do your
moved
new
3,000 miles away with property and animals and be
And
settled
then have
in.
moved back 3 years later
Yes,
and the
and-
apartment won't be done.
So I think that's kind of the stipulation. It's like a 3 to 5 year move. That's about it.
Do you want to find your way back here?
Yeah.
You should give us an update on the wedding situation, because that's becoming kind of like this paint job.
I mean, we want to have the wedding, and then after the wedding, we started putting offers in the houses. We got really close to actually getting a house, and we dropped out at the last minute just because we felt uncomfortable with the amount of work that it needed.
Was it the one in
People they seemed to be being a little dishonest, so at the end we pulled out. We got our money back.
right?
So I mean, we have the money for the wedding. It's just a matter of, do we really want to drop 10 grand in one day when we still want to buy a house?
Beautiful segue.
Spoilers, Frankie and I don't think you should.
We're making a documentary on expensive weddings,
Well, it's really on weddings in general and how expensive they can be.
right?
Yes.
And we have shot one
And
day.
how crazy they can be.
It's a documentary, so documentaries are going to be a lot different than shooting a narrative, where really we just shoot when we can for
Right.
probably the next year or two.
It's a lot like what I'm doing right now.
Right.
But they, but for good measure. We shot one day. We went to Nancy's Bakery in Somerset, Mass, and we told her that Nina and I were getting married, and Cyle shot it. And we said, "Are we allowed to bring in we're shooting a documentary on our own wedding," and we put her through the ringer of like giving us cupcakes and stuff. We had a ton of cupcakes.
We did a cake tasting, cake consultation.
We have all this recorded. I actually felt really bad. I felt like we were deceiving this woman.
You were.
But I mean, the cake was like $633.
$670
Yeah.
cake.
for cake.
It just tasted like cake.
I have no issue with the wedding. Have a wedding if you can afford it. Don't take out a loan for a wedding.
Don't act like you're rich,
Right.
because you're not.
So make your wedding a price point, because as a broad generalization, I think most people they break even with their weddings if you're a reasonable person with whatever gifts you're going to get. So at least whatever the cost of the plate is going to be, if you're a guest, pay for that.
Well, can you at least be
guess
gifted with
that's kind of-
cash? Because I
kind
mean,
of
I
the
can't trade in all these boxes.
And that's the crappy part of people having a registry. Like, don't get me
Yeah.
crap for my kitchen.
But see, at
Pay
that point, you're all just crowdsourcing the day.
Right.
And at that point, may I propose?
Like
I-
If I'm going to crowdsource something, I want to get something I want to eat, and I don't want to do it at some random shitty place and sit out in the sun and be sweaty and do all the crap that I have to do when I go to these weddings.
I found myself wondering, why is it that we don't ask people to at least like, not everybody has an open bar. It's too expensive. You ask people to buy their own drinks at the venue. How come we don't have people buy their own meal at the venue? And then you save everybody. Like, that's got to be $6,000, $7,000 right there to feed everybody shitty chicken.
That's the real bulk of the cost, I think, of a wedding.
Yeah.
And
is
Aaron has
per-
eaten a lot of people's real wedding cakes while everyone else got served sheet cakes.
True that.
To me,
And that's what happens,
When
by
he
the way.
worked in the wedding
Explain.
industry.
When I worked at White's and stuff banquet halls, they cut the piece of cake, bring it into the kitchen, and then you're getting sliced off like sheet cake. That's in a big old sheet cake. That's about it. Like, you're not getting the wedding cake.
I don't understand why that happens. I mean, when we went to Nancy's, she was
Because they buy a cheaper cake
yeah,
instead
it
of a-
keeps the cost down. If
Because
we-
you could buy a huge wedding cake
Oh, I
that's
see.
$4,000.
If we had wanted to get a small wedding cake or like a smaller one and have that really intricately designed and then just buy a bunch of sheet cakes from her, we probably could have gotten the price down to like $300.
It is totally sensationalized. I agree. I have no issue with people having a day that they can remember. Just don't have it a day that you just spent a down payment for a house
Imagine the things you could do with that money.
for like 6 to 8 hours.
It's a bad investment. $10,000 for a day, and that $10,000.
$10,000 is really cheap.
I don't know who's
average wedding is like 26 or some
Yeah.
shit.
I don't know who can keep it at 10,000.
Yeah, I mean, if we did do something, we definitively had plans for like 70 people max.
Right.
It wasn't going to be like hundreds and hundreds, and then you just instantly start getting like family members, like parents, not my parents, of course, Mike's parents, that are like, we're inviting friends, and I'm like, no, you're not.
At somebody's
You're
expense.
absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to make a big hairy deal out of it. I don't understand why. I mean, everybody's always like, I just want to do a cookout in my backyard. I've never once been to one of these cookout backyard weddings. It never turns out that way.
Well, anyone we've talked to who starts out being like, we were going to do it small, like we were doing it at this person's parents' house, and it was going to be, a quiet thing. It just gets bigger. And like the minute you rent a tent, it's like now we have to justify the fact that we ended up renting this tent, and you just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
We went to a really nice wedding. It was up in New Hampshire. Somebody Mike works with. It was like at a vineyard in a big tent, and it must have been dirt cheap. Not dirt cheap. It was really nice looking, but I imagine since it was up in New Hampshire in the middle of like nowhere, that it was probably relatively cheap.
But realistically, how much of this are we really doing to just please mom and dad, the grandma?
You don't see any justification. Like I do see a point in having a really nice day that you can remember. You do live once, fine, whatever. I don't see a point in hitting that threshold where you're not going to make your return back with gifts.
Well, I just don't know. How memorable can you? I mean, I don't remember ever meeting a bride or groom who was like, "Oh, we just had such a good time."
Everyone says they didn't get to eat their
food.
They didn't get to eat their cake. They had to run around and say thank you for all those gifts all day long.
And I think that's where people start to overextend themselves and have like 200-300 guests. How can you manage your time? Because you need to talk to everybody.
I don't know why you're throwing a bash for yourself like you're some kind of celebrity. Like,
yeah,
who are all these people?
Well, most people live their whole lives without having that experience, so this is a chance for them to do it.
Yeah, and I'm not totally against the idea of weddings. I'm totally against the idea of people putting themselves in debt for weddings. That's my big gripe with that. If you have the money for a wedding, have a wedding.
If you're wealthy, then I mean, yeah, right. I mean, you can do whatever you want with your money. I don't care what you do if you have it. But I think
or if you can have a wedding that is, I think to me, reasonable in price, that again you're going to break even or come close to breaking even, and it's only going to be a small like a couple grand. Then what? I mean, if that's what you want.
I've never seen such a wedding.
I agree.
But I think that people are inclined to spend money in such a way that makes themselves look wealthy.
Like they're rich. Yeah.
And the attendees are supposed to be supporters and family and friends who already know their financial situation. If anything, are there to help them start their lives. And instead they're
that's what it used to be when it was a smaller.
And instead people show up going, it's not an open bar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you giving them shit for not being rich?
You can't like spend $30 on yourself at a wedding.
Yeah.
You really can't buy $30 worth of drinks, like
or a meal.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee if you made everybody pay for their meal, you know what people would say? They'd be like, those cheap assholes.
So, I mean, if we were going to have it, we're going to get it fairly cheap for 75 people. We're going to get it for about $10,000 at the Lennox Hotel because we know somebody that works there in the banquets that does weddings. But per plate, like the cheapest plate they had was like $220 a head.
Per plate.
Per head.
Holy shit.
I mean,
How is that possible?
As soon as you may have included. Did that include the open bar? Was it like the bar?
There were certain like very specific stipulations between certain times, and then it was just
Yeah. But sometimes it include
you
like
add like an extra $50 per head
but
for open
the
bar or
package is
something.
like
Why
this
does every
bar.
wedding have to look like the Buchanans threw it? I just don't understand why there isn't such a thing as.
It is that whole sensationalized thing, especially for girls specifically. I'm the bride and it's my special day and nothing will go wrong.
So that was great when we were
bullshit.
When we were doing the bakery consultation. We kept baiting her to make those like.
Frankie kept baiting her.
Yeah, I kept being like, well,
the bride.
Talk to the boss.
Talk to the boss.
And she'd be like, oh yeah, her day, her way, right? And I'm like, yes.
You really should have John go with you as the wedding planner.
That's what we wanted.
That'd be fantastic.
But you know what he said? I invited him a month out.
You booked him.
Put him on a calendar.
You booked him.
We have a calendar for shoots. Which, by the way, you should at least come to one or two and be ridiculous with us.
Sure. I'm all game.
Yeah.
I'll come tuxedo.
To you, that's the
wedding planner in the tuxedo.
That's being game.
Yeah. I was there to buy the house with you guys, well, at least to view the house.
Oh,
and
right.
I kept asking the realtor if the attic was enough room to store a body. And then, like, were the cabinets big enough to store a body? And I just, I'm always.
Closet big enough to store a body?
She seemed a little perturbed by that by the end.
Maybe about
She's like,
the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there were multiple houses. I kept asking about the body room. She wasn't thrilled.
I was thrilled.
I'm sure because in her mind, she's probably like, these are younger people. They're probably not going to even end up buying the fucking house.
Right. We totally did.
And they're bringing their friend around that keeps asking me about space for a body.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I did notice there was kind of a vibe, like as soon as the cameras and audio were there, even though we cleared it, there was this vibe of kind of like, so what's this for? At the end,
Are you
like,
revealing the scam?
yeah. Well, of course, I mean, as soon as you put the word wedding on it, it could be a party at 1 minute.
Yep.
But as soon as you call it a wedding, the prices jack up because everybody knows that it's worth it to people. And that
It's the most important day of your lives, the most important cake of your lives.
and
If
that
that kicks $100 more for money, it'll be worth it.
yeah. And that there's other like funding sources attached to it, like
It's going to
parents
taste
and
better if it's
family
more
and
expensive.
Yeah.
like, oh, there's more people that are going to want to make sure that this gets spent the right way.
You're going to take out a loan for this.
It's like anything. You can. It's easy to sell the value of something based on like, well, you want it right? You want it to be awesome, right?
You want it to be unique, but
Yeah.
normal.
That was great too.
You want it to
We
be
kept fucking with her.
traditionally unique.
We kept being like, we're really traditional people, but we want to show like our side. I told her that I was like a real beach lover, and I'm like from the ocean, and so I like. These two
I'm
were like,
from the ocean. Fly.
John Hunt shows up with gills.
And bat wings. I mean, again, I would love to have a wedding, but it's hard to justify when you want to spend money on other things.
Yeah. Well, what we've noticed is that as soon as we put out the feelers of like, hey, we want to make this wedding movie, who wants to be part of it? Everybody's got a story. Everybody's either been to a destination wedding that got ridiculous, or they went to.
Those are terribly selfish.
Yeah.
Don't ask people to attend what you're calling your special event and drop like $700 on a plane ticket.
It's
and
my
then,
day.
Yeah.
But
all
it's
right.
my day.
I need you to spend your work vacation time, like get it as requested,
Yeah,
probably on
right.
short order. Then spend all the money. Then spend like 3 or 4 days of your vacation. Of now,
And
it's your
still give me a
vacation
wedding, because
with
then you still have
us,
to get a wedding gift.
and then still give us wedding.
I can't believe you have to do a wedding gift if you're in
Just
the bridal
fucking go on a vacation by yourself. Get married there if you want.
what we were gonna do is I'm not sure if this is even necessary because there's so many people that are willing to let us in on their lives, but although most people want us to film them being reasonable. They're like, we're trying to be really reasonable. Show us being reasonable. I'm like, no, I want to show somebody being ridiculous. But I want to get somebody on Craigslist who like, I'll do your wedding video for free if you let us in on everything about the process. We'll see if that pans out or not. Nina's mostly been doing all the planning, and you've also been doing a lot of like she picked up those giant magazines, those wedding magazines.
Yep.
Oh, they're fucking horror shows. I flipped through them. They're horrible, sexist, terrible, mean things. They're mean. They're cruel.
You got an example?
They're ruining my soul. Just some of the stuff about, like how far out you should be preparing yourself for your wedding. Like the minute you get engaged, you should start getting facials. Like how often
I'm gonna give you a facial.
like how you
Right,
should like get
facial
your
time.
nails right, and like how you need to start growing your hair,
Time
and
for the
like
bride
how
to
you
get
need
a
to
facial
start
from all the
living
men.
for your wedding day the minute you get engaged. The
You
minute
don't want to
think
be an
about
ugly
getting-
broad at your wedding, do you?
They always are.
Yeah.
They look like plastic versions of themselves, and then they end up dancing to Cotton Eye Joe, and then we all go home.
I sort of want to just have a wedding to have a gay wedding. See how uncomfortable people can get, especially family.
Especially 200 of them.
You know family is going
I
to be...
would love to do some consultations with you
Could
and
you-
talk about it.
actually,
being a
that
wedding
would be
and
kinda
see how
fun.
You don't
respond
mind.
to that.
No. Because, as liberal as family can be, when it comes down to, watching two guys kiss and stuff, I'm sure, like grandmothers and stuff.
They go sick.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, the sweet romantic piece of it isn't going to be
Yeah,
there for
right.
them,
Because
even though it's the exact
generally,
same.
family only see us interacting kind of like we are friends. Never, you know what I mean? Nothing.
They don't have.
butt sex.
No,
don't know about it.
no hand holding,
They
no
don't have to be faced
kissing,
with it.
It's
no
not a
anal
it's
sex.
a concept. It's not like a reality.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
They're like, well, I don't care what they do with their butts.
I don't care what they do with the butt sex.
One of many chickens
In Chinatown.
in Chinatown.
a Chinatown wedding.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the we've talked about this before, but the other side of it, which is like trying to prove how great they are with the fact that it's a gay wedding. Like
Have you been to a gay wedding?
No, I've never been. But
I've never even heard about a gay wedding.
I imagine there's going to be people that go who are like, I'm so happy for you two gay people.
Oh,
They're
you guys
gonna,
are totally gay.
yeah, this is so great.
100% gay.
This is so great and gay. I'm just so glad you guys were able to have such a nice gay day.
Can you visualize John Hunt's gay wedding?
No.
Me neither. With that man from, what was he from again? Third Rock from the Sun?
Yeah.
That boy from Third Rock from the Sun?
Can you imagine how long it would take to plan?
bride.
Come on. Now we're just mean. Apparently we weren't before, but now we are.
Thinking about John in a wedding dress is fantastic. Thinking about myself in a wedding dress is fantastic.
You
also,
would never
John.
do it, would you?
What?
In front of 200 people.
In a wedding dress?
Yeah.
No, why would I? If it was for like shits and giggles for your documentary, sure, but I'm not gonna like if I was having my own wedding, why would I get a wedding dress?
What about the fact that
A wedding dress implies like it's got cups there for boobs.
you'd never do
It's
it?
I like that was a serious question.
It wasn't serious.
You're a jackass, aren't you?
I would like for you to make a mockery of your own $10,000 day.
Walking down the aisle in a big old dress.
Just so that Mike can mock you. I know it.
Dressed up as Barbara behind the veil. How are we?
The teeth are fine.
I think we pretty much
At the end of the day, 12 cavities and candy corns later.
they have to do some restorative gum stuff, but they said they could do the whole thing in a day, but I opted for 2 days, so they do like one half and then the other half. They gotta take out my
if they
wisdom
did it in
teeth.
a day, they had to completely sedate him because they were like, well, you can't just lay in that chair
Yeah,
for
Frankie's
8 hours
sedative.
straight.
Well, their option. So that was really the point of telling the story was Nina brought me to this place that's all about gentle care. It's Dr.
Gentle
Kind of
dental?
like yoga studio / dentistry.
dental.
No, it's Dr. Ahern's office in
It's
Gentle
Perfect
Westport,
Smiles
Mass.
in
Yeah,
Westport,
Perfect
Mass.
Smiles.
I went to stupid Dr. Katz in Westport as a teenager.
I've heard horrible things.
And that's why I have baby teeth in my mouth.
What happened?
I was 16 years old, and he's like, those will fall out. No, they won't. They were supposed to be out 4 years ago. Why aren't you just taking them out? And he just kept insisting they'd come out eventually. Here I am, 28, with baby teeth in my
That's
mouth.
really weird.
What a jackass.
Are they even strong enough to like do anything?
I still use them.
Well, they apparently like these people came in. They were.
With candy corn.
I'll be honest. I was giving them with a bowl of candy corns, and I
like,
was
"Here,
like, "Can I
use
have one?"
more
They're like, "No."
These are for your teeth. These are your teeth.
These are for your gums. They are prepared for chicken shits like me. I came in and apparently Nina called it because I was like getting really nervous. I haven't been in 10 years. That's why I didn't go for 10 years, was because when I was a kid, like this shit was painful. Like
Did you have cavities and stuff as a kid?
not really. Any dentist that I had was really, really rough. And I do remember one time I had a cavity and they kept putting a poker in it. And
A
it was,
poker?
like a
a
poker.
pick, those
Yeah.
dental picks.
That's,
knives and forks and spoons.
silverware and instruments in your mouth. The worst part about the dentist is the damn Novocaine. That pinch of the needle.
Which Nina says nowadays.
Which,
Oh, I hate
which
it.
is what I remembered. I actually hadn't gone to the dentist for about 6 or 7 years.
nothing
till
that bad
I went
about it
back.
now.
Now they numb it first.
They
with
give the
gel.
topical
yeah.
numbing.
And then I didn't even feel the injection. I was like, I remember gripping
It
the
felt like
seat
it was
as
for some
it,
reason
like,
getting
stabbed
tighter
his
and
mouth.
tighter.
Yeah,
Like
It got worse and worse and
yeah, yeah.
That's the only part of the dentist I don't like still.
But now I don't know when the last time you went and you had to get a shot of some sort. But it's true. I just went
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah,
And
the topical anesthetic is lovely. I didn't feel the injection at all.
Well, they told me they were like, listen, if you're nervous about any kind of pain, we will get
put you to sleep.
We'll get you as high as you want to be.
Yeah.
It's basically they were like,
like right up to like IV sedation with like
Yeah.
you would have an anesthesiologist.
they were like, we'll
You don't need to be alive for this procedure.
We'll kill you. Bring it back afterwards.
the doctor came in so smooth and gentle, and he was like, hey, listen.
Who's like Steve Martin from Little Shop of Horrors?
Yeah, he's like, I'll be your dentist. I gotta have
Flew down
it
from
for
like
causing
on his motorcycle
pain.
from an alley.
But it gets me all high instead. They were like, you can do the laughing gas. You can do the laughing gas plus a Valium. And if you don't like that, we'll just stick
we
Shits and giggles
do
gas?
the oral sedation. That was the next step, or the IV sedation is
Yeah.
like the final.
What's the oral sedation again? Oh, just sticking needles in your mouth.
No.
tropical?
They will actually give you pills, but it will highly sedate you.
Yeah.
And it will,
They were like, you
you won't remember what happened. With the Valium, you'll remember what happened. You're just going to be relaxed versus
loopy.
knocked out.
They said that if you're gonna, I opted for laughing gas plus Valium, and they said
I was laughing gas. I've never had it.
I've never had it either. Let's try it.
I thought you just said you opted for it.
Well, I'm doing
He
it next
hasn't had.
Oh,
he has
oh,
a
oh.
consultation.
I've only ever
Let me
I've
know.
only had the here's the other thing. When I told them, I was like, yeah, they used to check for cavities by sticking shit into the roots, which is what they did when I was a kid. He was like, don't even worry about it, bro. He was like, I got these lasers. And he goes, only 1 out of every 200 clinics have them. And I was like, lasers. He's like, yes, Mr. Bond. And sure enough, like a few minutes later, they came in with these little, almost like one of those presentations.
Titty pinches.
Nipple
I'm like,
gloves.
What are these?
he's like, I told you I wouldn't make your mouth hurt. No, you
You just came in with these little.
Hermit crabs.
remember back when we
Oh God, we're off the air again.
Off the air.
Chicken's Chinatown. Remember when every kid had a laser pointer and they were always shining eyes and stuff?
Yep.
It's one of those. That's what
Don't
this
do
is,
it. You
by
go
the way.
blind.
That's what the laser pointer was. All right.
The
thought it was
whole
Morse
thing
code.
is a button.
Okay. I don't use these fingers to do it.
What do you do? Show me.
This.
All right, fine.
This is the universal sign for laser pointer.
Thumb overhand as opposed to titty
Thumb
toucher.
over
The
index.
laser pointer always had the button on the top of it.
Right.
Yeah. Whoever did this did you use it?
Well, if you if you have somebody laying down and you want to look at their mouth,
You're not justifying
You're not
this.
gonna go like
It's
this.
ridiculous. You're not going to go like this either.
you know you're about to lose.
What? Everybody's on board with me about this.
You're not gonna do
thumb
the-
over index, not index over thumb.
If someone's laying down and you want to look at their mouth, you're gonna do this.
This is a podcast. You're now
you're not.
describing what you're going to do when you lay down
Well,
with
there's
your
video.
hands.
There's a video.
No, you're still going to do
Watch
this.
the video.
You're just going to flex the elbow out.
We're in an anatomy argument. Some kind of sexy Mexican dance version of it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, he's trying to laser in my fucking teeth, and that's how he was able to figure out if I had. It was amazing. Also, they when I was a kid, when they would do X-rays, they would just like pull your face apart and put you in like an X-ray room.
I had a similar bad experience as a kid. I feel like with kids, they feel like, oh, fuck it. Like
They don't have
They
a
need
like
this.
just
It's character building.
Just fucking do it.
they don't have a customer service
Yeah.
obligation.
Because you're trying to please the parents, not them.
Yeah.
And the parents are going to be like, oh, that little fucking asshole has cavities again. They're going to be pissed at the kid anyway.
least that's
So-
how- when we were growing
if
up,
the
that's
kid's
how it
like,
was.
It hurt. They'll be like, yeah, remember that so you don't get cavities again.
I think maybe the technology has also improved.
Yeah, I agree.
So they were just like, okay, just bite lightly down on this thing, and they took all my X-rays in like 2 seconds. In any event, I look forward to maybe we
Getting stoned and having some.
should we
teeth.
try to record an episode right after my
Yeah.
narcotics?
Well, we do have a flower consultation right after your dentist
I'm
appointment.
supposed to be high all day.
Well, you're gonna. Well, you're gonna go to this.
You're gonna be really high.
You're gonna go to this floral consultation.
Can I be your husband for the day?
Fine. Frankie, high off of his dental visit.
I'll act totally flamboyant too,
It's
and
next month,
pretend
the
like you
12th.
don't notice it.
You don't.
I love these flowers.
You only whisper.
Beautiful,
Speaking in whispers.
fantastic.
He's a deacon. Finally. Don't have a lot of time left. It's about 43 minutes in, but just trying to cover something. M&Ms.
What about them?
There are probably 25 flavors at this point.
And it's disgusting. There only needs to be one.
No, they're not disgusting.
They're disgusting.
delicious.
They're
The only time I'm going to tell you
You're disgusting.
that are disgusting, the pretzel ones. I cannot
No,
bear
pretzel
them.
ones are okay.
What? You're going to say they're all disgusting, and
Yeah.
now you're going to go with the least. You sicken me. The dark chocolate one's fantastic. They got the dark chocolate
coconut,
peanuts. They got the
there's-
regular.
There's
Yeah.
raspberry.
There's the Cherries Jubilee one that came out and around the holidays.
I might have tried that one.
They have
There's almonds.
more than I
okay,
can imagine.
they've had almond forever, but they used to
Insanity.
be really hard to find.
they've had almond.
I got a list.
Those are delicious.
They're
those
disgusting.
were always the
They're
best.
disgusting.
Those
What's
were
wrong with them?
actually
They're
my
disgusting.
favorite.
All right, here we go.
I want chocolate.
milk
That's it.
chocolate, peanut,
I'd much prefer
Yeah.
dark
Classic.
chocolate ones too.
peanut butter.
Classic.
I think that those are some of the best candies on earth.
Disgusting.
Crispy.
Those are Reese's
They just
Pieces.
want Reese's Pieces, right?
why
They
do
really
you- why
homed
do
in
you
on
need
it. Reese's Pieces.
Why
No,
do you
these
need
are
to corrupt
Instead of
the
just
M&M?
making them
I like the
yellow,
chocolate better.
brown,
You gotta
and
corrupt the
orange,
M&M.
now you're just making
Aaron,
them all
Reese's
colors.
Pieces.
Reese's Pieces.
You're all
Fuck you
completely wrong. I don't
and
care.
your pieces.
I don't care how many people
Shove
out there.
your pieces
It's
up
the
your
word
ass.
is pieces. First, of all.
Reese's Pieces.
If the man's name is Reese,
Reese's Pieces.
if the man's name is Reese,
I think Aaron just. won
it's
the argument.
possessive. Fine,
Thank
fuck
you,
him.
Nina.
I win. Birthday cake. I want
Whoa,
cake.
whoa!
Some of
I
these-
have not seen these.
Some of these I'm gonna want to try.
Birthday cake.
Pretzel,
It's like Jelly Belly. Come on, just stick with
Bone
stick with
marrow.
strawberry, and that's it.
bone marrow, almond, dark chocolate,
Popcorn.
coconut, mint dark,
Ugh.
white chocolate pirate pearls.
Squatty potty.
White chocolate pirate pearls. That sounds like a euphemism for something.
I'm not making none of these are jokes. Carrot cake, wildly cherry,
Carrot cake.
milk chocolate cherry, dulce de leche,
Dulce de leche.
dulce, excuse me,
Pepeto.
peto de leche,
Candy of the breast.
candy of the breast, orange chocolate.
Ew.
It's incredible.
I used to hate those chocolate oranges that everybody loved.
I like
These-
those.
oh.
Those are fine.
Semen-covered turds.
Strawberry. I said none of these are jokes. Strawberry peanut butter, candy corn white chocolate. That's like 2 fucking flavors.
Those belong at the dentist.
Raspberry. That's RAZZ. Those belong to the dentist.
You know, raspberry is blue, right?
Pumpkin spice.
Ugh.
Some of these are like seasonal though, right? Like we're not going to see these year.
No,
round.
Some of these are like in
And-
other countries and stuff too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
cinnamon.
Yeah, some of them are. Like
I don't know. I've
in
seen a lot of
China.
them. You been to the
That's fucked up.
supermarket?
You've seen raspberry at the supermarket?
They're out there.
Some of them are probably in Japan. They probably have like
Yeah.
seaweed flavors in Japan.
Soy sauce flavor.
Yeah.
Assholes.
Or just some weird like fruit that like we don't eat a lot of here. Like
Gross.
Grapes.
yeah.
Nina, what was the magic of Lynn? Do you remember this?
Oh
I want to
my
make sure. I
God,
want to
the
see if
magic
Aaron
of Lynn.
remembers this. So, how's the podcast?
Who? I don't know what you're talking about again.
I'm asking.
I'm out of here. The magic of Lynn. What the fuck does that mean?
I wanted to know if you knew it.
No, nobody knows what you're talking about.
You're only being defensive
Cut it
because
off.
you got cut. You got caught.
Cut. I got cut.
You got
Doing what?
cut.
No. Same thing as the Star Wars comment, which I had no clue what you're talking about. The same thing as the dentist. The whole conversation. It already left. I don't know what you talked about.
When we were
And here we
kids.
are, the magic of Lynn.
When we were kids.
Here we've arrived. 43, 47 minutes in, whatever the hell we're at. We're talking about the magic of Lynn. Go ahead, Frankie.
What
You
topics-
knew nobody was going to know what you're talking
What
about.
topics did you bring?
Lesbians.
This is what we got.
Lesbians looking like men that I'm attracted to
And
and
that's
I'm
it.
comfortable about. I'm very uncomfortable about it. I could have talked about it for an hour.
You had 2 halves of a topic.
And I was very pleased last night when I went to go see a movie. I bought 2 sodas instead of 1. It made my movie going experience so much better than usual.
2 sodas.
I said I would never turn back. I looked to Mike. He said, "How was the movie?" And I said, "Having 2 sodas really changed my movie going experience."
So this
And he's
was
like, "That's what you have to say to me." It was on my mind the whole time. I'm so thrilled that I'm not out of the soda right now. I'm not saving that last sip for when I get really parched at the end.
I'm fine with this as a topic. I'm fine with it.
I have topics.
Well, keep going.
I just don't know if anybody wants to hear about them.
Magic of Lynn.
All right, Magical Lynn, what is it? Do I need to Google it?
No, it was something that if you went to Westport, any Westport schools,
There
you
was a Westport graduate who then became a magician, some chick, and then
she
would
visited
come
us
back
all
and
the
do
time.
shows for fundraisers.
Never heard of this chick.
No, the bird lady,
Pam,
the
I've heard
Pachico
of.
woman,
Pam the
was
lesbian.
friends with her and would bring her back all the time.
Freshman year, Pam the lesbian strolls
Were
in.
you
Like,
attracted to Pam the
nobody's going to
lesbian?
make fun of you. No, she was no boy.
What talked about Pam the lesbian?
Our school loved to have inspirational speakers
They
show
had
up.
one day that was all about inspiration and career day.
I didn't go.
And Nina was like, "I'm not going." She had like a real thing about like, "I'm not going."
And one was this,
was hilarious.
this hipster doofus lesbian woman who talked about,
Hipster.
she was a hipster.
All right.
Talked about how she was beaten down as,
How she told her parents that she
Do
was a
you
lesbian,
remember?
and they said, "We accept you," and then she went and ran 10 miles or something.
yeah, she was an
stupid.
asshole.
Oh, you guys
I was there
remember
for
more
this
of
day.
this.
This was not on career day. This was like Pam the lesbian day. This was like some.
The fact that I remember her name,
Like gay
and the
straight
fact that I
line
remember she
thing.
was a lesbian. And then we had that other inspirational speaker. Remember, he was like that Italian mafioso
That
guy.
you were not at. That was career.
Oh.
day.
something about sticking and stabbing is how you guys
He
made
was
fun of him for
fucking
years.
annoying. He
What do
thought-
you remember about it?
The only thing I got out of it is he tried intimidating the audience. Like, you should be afraid of me. I was an asshole,
Like
but now
stand straight?
I can teach you. Yeah, like, I don't even know what the fuck that guy was talking about. I think he was one of Mr. Melly's friends.
There it is. That's Steve Trenholm. I am.
About what?
Sent me a YouTube
How does
video.
he know? Wait, no, he doesn't.
No,
even
he
know.
just IMs me a
I
lot.
know.
And I ignore most of what he says.
You
because-
talk to my uncle more than I talk to my uncle. There's an issue with this.
Aaron.
There's a reason I don't talk
I
to
don't
him.
talk to him.
You communicate with him.
You need to do a how are we about how stupid the Man of Steel is and how Batman.
My next topic is about the Man of Steel and how stupid it is.
Yep, Aaron.
let's
keep
take a
rolling.
suggestion.
All right. And about how Batman versus Superman, how they fucking it up. They fucking it up.
Let's bring this podcast to a halt.
A grinding halt.
Let's take these fantastic suggestions.
Future Batman. This is great, and it's a YouTube video.
They is fucking it up.
Oh, and he
What be they doing?
he took a picture of the white Power Ranger and put my face over it, and then
With like MS Paint, right?
and then tagged it for the whole world to see. Like as if like I had a friend who I thought this was cool with. So I untagged it. And he goes, "You're no fun, White Ranger law."
And does and start with a D? You weren't here for that one, but that's what Mike and I say to each other all the time because he just can't spell and for some reason. So now we just constantly asking each other if and starts with a D.
In all seriousness, illiteracy doesn't necessarily mean you can't read or write at all. Maybe it's like a 5th grade reading level. If like you're below a 5th grade reading level and you're an adult, you're illiterate.
Yeah, there is some.
I think your uncle might be illiterate.
I don't know because I've specifically told him before, especially when you make like an MS Paint picture and you put the word that's supposed to be and in there, but you put and.
Yeah. And
I say you should put and there, and he goes, I don't care, and then he won't fix it next time.
It's meant to be like a formal piece of writing. It's not even like he's putting up a piece of art.
Yes.
And he's like, and then Smallville.
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. No.
And
Batman and
I don't know. I've told him before that can't be right, and he just won't take it.
This just can't be right.
This can't be right. Just take a look at it. Take a long, hard look at it, and tell me if this looks right. But whatever.
Hey, how about the? Do you remember when that kid Scott shat in the elevator?
Oh yeah.
What's your memory of that?
This delinquent person who had a terrible upbringing, and his way of rationalizing things was fighting back, but he pooped in the elevator because he got in trouble that day.
He shat.
What a great form of rebellion.
He shat in the freight elevator, like hallway.
And like the rumor has it that like the elevator doors opened up and Mr. Wood was standing there, and there he was covered in feces.
Mid shit. Well,
and then he would get so pissed if you
and he
mentioned
hadn't-
it.
yeah, we later were like, "Hey Scott, I heard you shat in the elevator." He'd be like, "Shut
And he
the
had
fuck up." That
no-
was in the past.
No squatty potty on hand.
No, so there's many pieces.
Melly was a weird dude. I remember like you call him to like the lunchroom table and he'd be like, "Melly, what's a hymen?" I don't know what a hymen is, Melly. And he'd like explain it to you.
Would he actually try?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, a hymen.
Can be broken in many ways.
In the Jewish tradition.
It's broken on a horseback.
If used on a squatty potty, a hymen is.
I broke my very own hymen on a squatty potty.
And my hymen said, "How dare you?"
He said, "How are you?"
I sat that hymen down in my red chair.
I said, "How dare you, you filthy Jap?" The whole story is about Japs, and he kept saying the word Jap in that story.
Have you talked about this story on the
yeah.
podcast before? Okay. I was like, are we
How
just
dare
saying
you,
filthy
you
Japs?
filthy hymen.
You're a filthy Jap. And he just kept saying filthy Jap. That's all everybody took out of the story was filthy Jap.
I ran into Kyle Dory at
And he said filthy Jap.
at the Moose the other day, and he was like, "Do you remember that red chair story?" Like it
Do I?
It's pervasive. It's really.
Do you remember Pam the lesbian, Kyle Dory?
He's like, "Do I?"
High school had such vivid memories of the strangest things going down. It's sort of like it was a television show that was set up.
Yeah, it felt
I
like
did kind of feel like I was on the Truman Show. Like,
Yeah,
it was
like
the
this
Nina
this
show
has
fucking
to be
with
all
me.
set up. It's its own small community just running independently of everything else.
It's just because it was run by crazy people.
Yeah, they're
Like
fucking
our
nuts.
high school was just run by.
The only thing I can imagine is these people aren't qualified to do anything else with their lives.
Yeah.
So this is their
They're
only form
infantile.
of power. There's their only grasp that they'll ever get at some power. And it really is like complete control
And they
too.
went to a school like just big enough to like have enough students and like just small enough where like no one was watching them.
Right.
They weren't doing anything officially. Nothing was done like regulations.
Even more so than
standard-wise.
being a boss to employees, where there are boundaries. You can't just yell at a boss. You can't just you can't just yell at an employee. You can't treat them like shit really anymore because
Right.
HR and all that shit.
right anymore.
At school,
Too bad.
Yeah, at school now you can treat them in whatever fashion you want.
Pretty much.
Just belittle them, do whatever you need, and
I mean, you can. There are certain
librarians yelling at you. What is this?
Right.
You're not even a teacher.
There are certain things that the adults cannot do, and
They can't touch you.
the students figure that out quickly, and they exploit it. It's like if a teacher is ever like, "Hey, Aaron, shut up," it's like, "Oh, shut up, eh?" Those those are the words.
Now I'm nude.
The magic.
Smearing feces in the elevator.
Just stop me. Just stop me.
Just try to stop me.
Did we ever talk about how Aaron would like have like these streaks of motivation in AP biology? He'd be like, "I'm gonna make like a really nice poster for AP biology," and then like he'd get shat on by the deacon.
My favorite part of AP biology was when, because I admit that second term of biology, AP biology, that whole semester is when I stopped showing up.
Not present.
But when I did show up like once every 2 weeks, he would ask questions and I'd answer them. Mostly because, back me up on this, AP biology was kind of like reinforcement from anatomy and physiology that we took with him.
Anatomy and physiology, I actually think was the most in-depth
and
science class we took. I thought like even the stuff that we learned in AP biology was like a level
lower.
below that.
Yeah,
like,
and
the anatomy and physiology class.
I
like,
retained
taught us
a ton of
everything.
it. And so when I was able to regurgitate it after not being there for 2-3 weeks, there was even a point in class where he turned around and said, how come he's not here ever? And he knows how to answer them. And he was pissed at me. Pissed.
The outlets of Langerhans.
And the nodes of
What about the Ozaki fragments?
Oh, yeah. Tell that story real quick.
Fantastic.
that he called Okazaki.
Yeah, talking about some DNA shit, and he's trying to explain something, and he's first of all, instead of calling them Ozaki, he's calling them Okazaki, like fragments, and he's basically showing like how they're supposed to like fit together, like with two thumbs coming like inversely to each other.
Right.
He's trying to demonstrate like lock and key theory that like they'll fit together perfectly.
And
he's
the explanation,
using his thumbs to demonstrate this.
The visual explanation is not going along with what he's trying to tell us. Nobody's understanding it.
No.
So in his mind,
I think everyone understood it, just didn't understand how his thumbs would relate.
Certain
to
teachers
it.
want want a very specific answer from you that you just will never get. You can regurgitate 50 things and they'll just keep saying no. But so in his mind, for some reason, he was thinking the whole barrier to this class is they're not seeing his thumbs for some reason. They're not seeing these thumbs very clearly in front of the class and how they're moving.
To me, the comical twist was because he was doing it in front of everybody.
That's where he's going.
The comical,
so
so
people aren't seeing his thumbs.
In his
problem.
mind, again, that's the breakdown. That's the problem.
Some people are sitting too far.
Stops
to the
the class, goes and gets the old overhead projector on wheels, on a cart,
projector.
has to plug it in, has to pull down the screen.
Has to wait for the
we all
light
think maybe
bulb
we're
to
going to see a
light
new
up.
slide, maybe a new lesson.
Explaining what's going on. Yeah. He turns it on, shuts the lights off, shuts the doors, puts the shade down.
Shadow puppets.
And then he just puts his fingers underneath there and keeps doing the same hand movements over and over again. And we're all just staring at each other awkwardly like, what is he doing right now? Everybody in the class was on the same plane, thinking on the same level, like this man is fucking nuts right now.
And do you remember the day that the special needs kid came and tripped the shower? And he was
I don't even remember.
No. That's what Abo is based on. Is like in the original script, Abo was supposed to come in, trip the emergency like medical shower or the chemical shower. And freak out the teacher, but instead we couldn't activate one of those, so instead we just had him throw shit, and I think that worked out better. But I remember like some kid came in to deliver the newspaper, and he was like, telling a similar story of a teacher who thinks they're explaining something better when they're not. I hope I haven't told this before on the podcast, but in social studies 8th grade. We had Mr. Menzies, and Clinton was getting impeached at the time. And
what a jackass.
And people, he was like super Republican.
Sort of like indictment.
Oh, you know this one, yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes, everybody was like, what is, because every day he talked about the current events. He's like, Clinton's impeachment. And people were like,
8th grade, you're really not involved in politics at all.
No,
It's so foreign to you.
He was trying to make you, so therefore, like a lot of stuff in Yugoslavia was going on at the time. We were bombing them, I seem to remember.
Yeah, we broke up that country.
So he would say, impeachment, it's kind of like being indicted. And nobody knew what he was talking about whatsoever.
Yeah, sure.
We should actually talk about I think the best idea for a podcast at John's burning, because John will be burning.
The Burning, 2014.
I think I'm gonna take the day off after the burning because why the fuck is it always on a Sunday? Like he knows not that he should revolve it around us, but we have to drive like
It's
an
not a
hour
fucking
and a
Sunday
half.
again.
You're also going to have to.
It's bad for everybody. I don't want to go to work.
Everybody has work the
day.
next day, so I'm just gonna take the day off so we can
Why
stay
does he
late.
do Sundays?
I don't because it's for one specific person that works on a Saturday.
Who?
I don't know who. It's one of the girls.
Meredith?
I mean, what the fuck? Like
She doesn't even really show up. Yeah, right. That's
So
ridiculous.
everybody else has to work the next day.
Because I end up having fun, but then the next day, like my eyes are raw and like my throat is sore from like.
Because
And we
just
always end up having to
burn metals.
leave.
So
We
we
have to
just burn
leave
toxic
super
carbon.
early too because we don't want to be home. I don't know. See if you can convince them to turn it to Saturday.
Yeah, there's no way he's changing it now.
Well, yeah.
But I'll ask you this. Maybe we should. I would like to go through the shit that he has that we're
With a
burning
camera. You should bring
Oh.
a camera.
with a camera and
I thought you meant like in that
and
the
pod.
junk rooms. I thought that would have been fun.
Oh, that'd be fun too.
Yeah.
Let's go through anything.
At least
Episode
get
of hoarding.
At least get some visuals
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the thing about the hoarder this week whose like floor collapsed on him and he died?
He was painting.
Was it Junt?
345th day.
There was a guy who the neighbors hadn't heard from in a couple days, so someone went over to check on him, and they walked into like his living room, and the floor had collapsed like into the basement, but they couldn't find the guy, so they went into the basement, and the floor had collapsed on him. He had been in the basement at the time.
Oh, God.
He was a hoarder. He had like tons and tons of stuff on his floor.
He was covered in old math tests. And
Oh, what do I do now?
oh, God. What do I do
Candy
now?
corns.
Yeah. Old teeth.
Old dentist candy corns.
All right.
So
just
hopefully,
worried that's gonna be
at least for the summer, we should be able to sustain a steady stream of How Are We's. Our
We are
plan
now
is
in the summer season. Of
our plan is
How
Our
Are
plan is to do once a week until September.
yeah, and once a week we tend to record more than one.
I'll also.
when will you know if you're moving?
I think he has some news for me today when I get back. Like I said, it's a good 90% positive. I already had the conversation with my employer that listen, I think we're moving. I gave the heads up.
What do we got to do to get Mike here more often?
I think had I responded back to him early enough, he would have come.
Yeah.
I didn't
right.
see, but all right.
I'll also plug that on September 27th at 7 p.m. at Zuzu in Cambridge, we are screening our movie. You might be in Seattle by that point.
September 20-something.
7th.
No, whatever.
All right. Aaron loves a good plug.
I checked out.
Yeah, well, see you later. Bye.
Bye.
You ever feel like maybe you didn't quite get it all? The reason is simple. The anal canal is kinked when in a seated position. So stop sitting and start squatting with the squatty potty.